Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the session with Amit Kirti from EY, who was one of the exhibitor companies at TechJobs Fair India last year already and again this year. Amit leads the data and analytics team at EY GDS Strategy and Transactions. In this role, he is responsible for building analytics and AI capabilities. He is here today to talk about tech career opportunities in EY GDS Strategy and Transactions. Hello, welcome, Amit. It's great to have you. Are you doing well on that side?
Thank you, Rita. Super excited to be here and talking to so many potential candidates and interested technicians. So I think great opportunity for us to have this crowd and address them. And before we get on to the detail, maybe I'll take just a couple of seconds to introduce myself as well as the organization. So I'm Amit Kirti, been in consulting industry for last 15 years plus, and focus on building technology-led solutions for clients, which are solving the business problems for the clients, helping clients innovate, and that's across sector, whether healthcare, consumer, manufacturing, government, and all of those. And from an organization perspective, I represent EY GDS, like Rita just said, which is a global delivery organization, global delivery services for EY. And within that, I lead the data and analytics for strategy and transaction business. Strategy and transaction business is basically supporting our clients in their journey during any M&A or such transaction, which would mean when organizations are looking at buying another business or separating and selling a part of their business, we pretty much partner with them right from the time when they discuss and they start thinking about the strategy to actually helping them execute these transactions, wherein we would do a lot of diligences, valuation, and all of those stuff, which will help organization to take the right decision. And then not only stopping here from an advice perspective, but also helping them execute these mergers and acquisitions or separations, wherein we'll create the entire program management and help the client execute these deals, right? And therefore there are multiple type of engagement that we do, and for each of these engagements, there is a great dependency on data and technology, because as organization integrate new organization or separate out their organization, they do require a lot of technology skills to understand how do they unlock value from data by using various technologies, or even looking and assessing the technology capabilities or technology architectures, etc., for the organizations which are getting integrated or which are getting separated. And therefore this team pretty much partners with client by bringing these skills on the table and helping them solve these problems or take those right decision more from a technology perspective, right? So this is what I thought that to begin with, I lay down the context is the nature of the work that we do with our clients, and what I'll do for all the candidates and audience, that I'm going to cover a couple of slides just to take you through what kind of work we do, what are the kind of various analysis, etc., that we do, which will give you a little bit more deeper insights into the nature of work that we do, right? And then we could spend some time on the question and answer. So let's go through that. I hope you can see this page. What it basically talks about is, in today's world, disruption has become a reality, right? And you can see this whether it is the geopolitical situation in Europe, which is between Russia and Ukraine happening, or before this, the lockdowns and the challenges on supply chain which came from corona, then oil price increase. All of those things are creating multiple disruptions across industries, right? And these are going to stay, right? The disruptions, the causes could be different, but the disruptions are coming every now and then. And we just thought that when you look at disruptions, because these disruptions, while one way creates challenges for the clients or for the organization, it also throws up opportunities for many organizations to innovate. And what better than technology and analytics and some of these skills to look at innovating for the businesses, right? And when you think about how disruptions are coming, you can typically divide that into three of these buckets, and there could be more, but these are the key ones where we say that there are multiple disruptions which come for the factors related to the companies. It could be shareholder activism, it could be lack of confidence in management, it could be, let's say, management changes that are happening, it could be liquidity issues. And similarly, there could be cases which are disruption due to sector. For example, technology-led disruptions or sector conversions or new customer model, etc., where a particular sector is getting impacted because of these disruption. And then third, which I talked about first, was more about macroeconomical and geopolitical causes, which again cause disruption. Now, what happens while these disruption create a lot of challenges for the businesses to survive and grow? Many organizations have really planned themselves better, have tried to leverage technology to actually convert these challenges into opportunities, right? And that's the opportunity we also see, that when disruption is becoming norm, how our clients can actually think about it, much before, and leverage technology to solve these more from an opportunity perspective, instead of only seeing them as challenges and responding to them. And what we find is that, the more you kind of focus on data, you are able to kind of look at in advance what kind of disruptions are coming. You are able to evaluate multiple options quickly, and therefore you are able to respond faster and respond better to these changing scenarios. And that's where, a lot of opportunity today are emerging for us, in terms of making sure that we are taking technology to our clients, or we are building technology led solutions which are able to help our clients, manage these disruption or leverage these opportunity that are coming their way. If I move to the next page, this one really talks about that, if you're saying that these disruptions are happening, what are the kind of different, situations that clients are seeing for their businesses? And for each of those situations, what kind of typical use case that we are seeing of analytics, or let's say any other technology that can be used by our clients to take right decisions, right? So for example, I said that when they look at M&A, we partner with the client right from the word when they are thinking about their strategy. So looking at their portfolio, thinking about which sectors or subsectors are going to grow better, where are they going to get better returns of the capital that they are employing, right? And therefore, which sectors or subsectors they can choose to come out and kind of generate cash or liquidate businesses, and which sector subsector they should go and invest, so that they can improve the returns to their shareholders, right? So all these decisions require careful study of various trends in the sector, which means that you analyze multiple data points, look at the correlation between those trends, and try and figure out and build an opinion about where the opportunities are better, where the opportunities may be limited, so that the client boardroom is able to take that decision, where should they work, and where should they invest, and where should they exit from. So this is the large part of analysis and support that we do when the client is thinking about this strategy. Then there are situations where clients are looking at buying an organization and integrating the businesses, right? And again, there are multiple use cases, as you can see on the page. I'm not going to go into each of these, but typically when there are situations when the client organizations are buying a businesses or buying another organization and integrating them, there are multiple plays. For example, how do you integrate the products, right? How do you integrate the pricing? How do you integrate the supply chains? How do you integrate the employees from a level, from a rank, from salary, right? How do you integrate the brands? How do you integrate the customers, the channel partners, the distributors, all of that? So this entire evaluation requires multiple places or multiple types of analysis to be used, and then really coming out that where they can unlock more value. So for example, they need to look at what are the top clients of the acquisition that we are doing. How important is their stickiness to the business to get the right ROIs for the investment? What is the chances of these high value customer leaving the organization after we buy that organization and integrate? And if we are able to identify those by using machine learning concept, then you are able to identify that if these are my top customers and so many of them are likely to leave, I could do a very targeted campaign to make sure in advance that they are not going to leave us, by offering discounts, by creating services better, by creating certain focus communication and campaigns, and multiple other initiatives, right? So these are some hypothetical examples that I'm just quoting, so that some of you are able to relate to your past experiences. Similarly, we talk about, let's say, corporate finance, which would mean that, what is the right capital decision, what is the right capital structuring for these kind of deals. And for each of these, again, there is n number of analysis that we need to do, whether in terms of financial due diligence, valuation, because all of these means that there is a huge amount of data that has to be looked at, analyzed from multiple angles, to arrive at where, what are the trends saying, where are the hidden risks, what are the emerging trends, where there is a growth, is that growth real, consistent across, or is it something, one off growth, are we paying the right value for this business, are we overpaying, is it really a great opportunity, will we be able to unlock the synergies that we have built in the business case by looking at numbers. So all of those require, once again, a lot of analytics applications to go in deep, churn this data and come out and build that opinion, right? And then the other set of situations are sell and separate, which would mean when client organizations are separating or, carving out a part of their business, going and selling it. Like I said, much of these global organizations at times decide that some of the subsectors or sectors may not be of interest to them, because they see that return to shareholder would drop down, because let's say those products or services are becoming a commodity. Now, how do you, in such situation, how do you help these clients take those decisions, both from a valuation perspective, from, let's say, identifying which are the sectors to get into, right? How do you look at how much money is flowing into that sector, which are the kind of startups the investments are happening, right? What are the kind of technologies where their competition or their peer group is going and investing, what is the new technologies or new, let's say, products or services that are being developed, who are those organizations who have that pipeline of new services and products, right? And therefore, what is the kind of value that we should pay for that organization. So again, a lot of these things are requiring a lot of these analysis, and all of that means that you need to have the skills to be able to play with that data, to be able to understand the technology, and to be able to then generate those insights so that the client boardroom or CXOs or management can take the right decision, right? And therefore, this analytics becomes a very, very important part of the business. And as you can see on the left side of the page, you can see the list of various kind of, skills that we need, whether it is, ETL techniques, data engineering, uh, automation, natural language generation, machine learning, statistical modeling, econometric modeling, right? Natural language generation and natural language processing, visualization and data storytelling, or web development, web mining, etc. So all of these skills are much needed to solve the right side of the page, which are multiple use cases to solve client problem, which I talked about, right? And again, in the center, you can see that these skills and some of those tools that we use, like Power BI, or let's say Python for machine learning, R programming, uh, and Alteryx, right? Blue Prism for automation. Let's say all of these are the kind of stack that we want people to have experience on, so that they can get onto the client engagement and solve these client problem by building those solutions. Let's move to the next page so that I can talk a little bit more about the kind of, skills that we need. So what I'm just trying to give you a flow is that what are the kind of business problems that our clients are facing, and for those business problem, what are the kind of solutions that we build and tools that we use. And now, if that is the kind of solution and tools that we use, what are the kind of skill set that we are looking forward to hire, and we have opportunities on, right? So you can see we have a lot of opportunities for data science, which includes operations research in supply chain, etc. We need computational programmers, we need artificial intelligence, both from a strategy and execution perspective, deep learning, machine learning, all of those skills, right? Big demand of data scientists. Similarly, for data engineers, right? Especially on cloud and Azure and AWS cloud based experience, people who understand that stack, right? So ETL architects, data strategists, right? Data engineers, all of this is again a great bucket of hiring that or need that we have at our end. The third layer that you see is on data mining and visualization. How are we converting that data to tell the right story to the client, which would mean people are having experience on Power BI, Alteryx, and all of those, right? You can see the stacks also written there. And then the next one is product development. So people who have done product development, especially let's say in tech organization, how do you manage a product better? How do you build those products? Because we build a lot of solution internally for solving client business problem, and many time we build client based products, which means the client is looking for a particular type of a product, which we'll build and hand it over to the client, or we help them manage over a period of time as well. And the last one that you see is IT strategy and integration, which would mean that we also need people who are more on the thinking framework side, which would mean, let's say, two organizations are getting integrated, somebody going reviewing their applications, saying that where are the synergies, which applications you might want to shut down now, sunset now, which application you might want to carry on, right? What is the total cost of ownership of those application? Will it make sense for moving these organization now to cloud, because you will be able to go into an opex model, which is far more scalable, far more secure, and you save a lot on the cost and response time, and all of those kind of skills, where people can come and actually identify where are those opportunities when these organizations are either getting separated or are buying another organization. We review their entire technology roadmap, their entire technology landscape, and say where are the opportunities that you can unlock, right? And special mention for digital skills, people who have experience on design thinking, digital immersion sessions, who can come back, challenge the process, and say where are the opportunities to change, right? And what kind of things can be brought in, what kind of tools, application, etc. can be leveraged. So these are really the big buckets of skills that you can see on this page. And I'm hoping that this does give you a lot of visibility in terms of what do we need from a skill perspective. And now I think we have 5 minutes left, so we'll be open for any question and answer, and happy to answer any question. And just one last point, maybe before you unmute and ask the question, is that we also have a booth running today, which is managed by our team. So feel free to join at that booth, explore opportunities, submit your profiles, right? Or even if you're not able to submit, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and share your profiles over there. We are looking for strong profiles and happy to evaluate them, right? Thank you,
Yes.
Rita, for being back. And let's go for the question answers.
So yes, we have a couple of questions. I'm going to show this one on stage randomly. Can you read it, Amit? Do you see
What
it?
about, yeah, I can see this. What about reliability of open source in data stack from Big Four point of view? I mean, look, it'll be difficult for me to be a spokesperson of all the Big Four. I'm representing EY here, but I think it depends upon the client opportunities. I think consulting organizations across the board, not only Big Four, are getting those kind of opportunities from their clients, and basis the opportunities in the market, they are hiring, right? So I think it'll be different situation for different organization, but I do see there are opportunities for that.
Mm-hmm. We have someone here with a raised hand. Let's see. Manjuri Ravi, are you there? Let's see. We invited him on stage. Him or
Okay.
her. I'm sorry. I'm not sure you're there. Hi. Do you have a question for Amit?
Hello. Yes, I do have a question. Like, basically, I am from a supply chain management professional into from basically background into mechanical. So, are there any roles where we can give contribute to your organization?
Very good.
So you are part of the physical process of supply chain, I'm assuming, right? Where you are involved either in buying or logistics management or something.
Yes, sir. Means basically from like managing warehouse logistics or procurement and all.
Okay, so I think what would be good is you can check at the booth. Look, from a technology perspective, we may not have directly these roles, but we also have functional consulting teams, right? And therefore, this is a good skill that is needed, and therefore your CV perhaps can give a better view whether it's a fitment or not. But broadly, to say that we do have supply chain teams and we do hire people, so it looks relevant. But please explore at the booth, and they might be able to give you better answer by looking at your profile.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's see if there's other questions. So, job opening and career related questions, like Amit already said. please, you can go to the booth and, talk together. Supply chain manager professional. I think most of the questions we have here would be maybe better addressed at the booth. So, like Amit already said, and I am repeating myself, just go, don't be shy. You can submit your profiles there. Amit's colleagues are there. And actually, we're over our time now for the session, so I would have to end it here. Amit, once more, thank you very much for your time, for sharing all the insights so detailedly. And thank you, everybody, for being there and your questions and everything. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.